The massive ship moved through space like a sleeping giant. It was 15 kilometers long and 3 kilometers wide. Its dark metal hull showed scars from countless meteor strikes. The ship looked dead from the outside, but deep inside, it was very much alive. Captain Daeho Kim stood on the bridge and looked out at the stars. He was a tall man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had been awake for 6 months now. Soon it would be time to go back to sleep and let someone else take care of the ship. "Captain, the power levels are stable," said Minji Park from her station. She was the chief engineer, a woman in her 30s with short black hair. She never seemed to sleep, always checking the ship's systems. "The fusion reactors are running at 15%. We have enough fuel for another 50 years. Daeho nodded. 50 years. Maybe by then they would find a new home. Earth was gone. Now, nothing but rocks and dust floating where their world used to be. The Cheonji carried the last 200,000 humans in the galaxy. Most of them slept in cold chambers, waiting for a better tomorrow. "Any signs of life out there?" Daeho asked. "The sensors are always watching," said Baram, the ship's computer. Voice came from speakers all around the bridge. They called the computer Baram, which meant wind in the old language. "I have found radio signals from 3 star systems. They seem to come from intelligent beings." Daeho felt his heart beat faster. Intelligent life. After 5 years of traveling through empty space, they might finally meet someone else. "Are the signals friendly?" "I cannot tell," Baram answered. "The signals are too different from human language, but they are organized. Someone is talking to someone else." Minji looked up from her screens. "Captain, should we try to make contact?" "Not yet," Daeho said. "We need to be careful. We don't know if they are friendly or not. Keep listening to their signals, learn what you can." The bridge was quiet except for the soft hum of machines. The Cheonji had been humanity's greatest achievement before the war. It was built to carry people to new worlds. It had factories, farms, schools, and hospitals. Everything needed to start a new civilization. But now it was just a refugee ship, drifting through space with no destination. "Captain," said a new voice. Hyunwoo Lee walked onto the bridge. He was supposed to be sleeping, but his shift would start soon. Hyunwoo was the ship's expert on alien life. He had spent years studying what life might look like on other worlds. "I heard we found signals." "Yes," Daeho said. 3 different sources. What do you think?" Hyunwoo sat down at his station and looked at the data. "The signals are very organized. They repeat in patterns. This is definitely intelligent life. And Captain, there's something else. The signals are getting stronger." "What does that mean?" Minji asked. "It means they are getting closer to us," Hyunwoo said. "Or we are getting closer to them." Baram spoke again. "Captain, I am detecting movement in space. Several objects are moving toward our position. They are still very far away, but they are definitely coming this way." Daeho felt cold. "How many objects?" "At least 12. They are moving in formation. This appears to be intentional." The captain looked at his crew. Minji had stopped working and was staring at her screens. Hyunwoo was typing fast, trying to get more information. They had all hoped to find other life in the galaxy, but they had also feared it. "How long until they reach us?" Daeho asked. "At their current speed, approximately 72 hours. Baram answered. 72 hours. 3 days to prepare for humanity's first contact with alien life. Daeho had dreamed of this moment for years, but now that it was happening, he felt afraid. "Minji, I want you to check all our systems. Make sure everything is working perfectly. Hyunwoo, keep studying those signals. Try to figure out what they are saying. Baram, watch those ships. Tell me if they change speed or direction. Yes, Captain, they all said. Daeho walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, alien ships were coming to meet them. What did they want? Were they curious about the big human ship? Were they afraid? Were they angry? The Cheonji had weapons, but they were not meant for war. They were mining tools, designed to break apart asteroids for metal and water. The ship's shields were meant to protect against space rocks, not enemy fire. If the aliens wanted to fight, the humans might not be able to defend themselves, but maybe the aliens would be friendly. Maybe they would help the humans find a new home. Maybe they would share knowledge and become friends. Daeho tried to hope for the best. Captain, Minji said, I'm reading some strange energy from our reactors. The alien ships might be able to detect us from very far away. Our power signature is much stronger than I thought. How strong? Daeho asked. Strong enough that we probably look like a battleship to them. A very big battleship. Daeho closed his eyes. This was not good. The Cheonji was huge and powerful, but it was not a warship. It was a home for refugees, but the aliens might not see it that way. They might think the humans were invaders. Can we reduce our power output? He asked. Not without shutting down life support for the sleeping people, Minji said. The cryo chambers need constant power. If we turn them off, 200,000 people will die. Daeho nodded. They had no choice. They had to keep the power on and hope the aliens would understand. Hyunwoo, any progress on the signals? I think I'm starting to understand some basic patterns, Hyunwoo said. But Captain, there's something you should know. I'm detecting at least 3 different languages. That means 3 different species are talking to each other. 3 different alien species, all coming to meet the humans. At the same time, this was either very good or very bad. Daeho hoped it was good. Keep working on it, he said. I'm going to wake up the senior staff. We need to be ready for anything. As Daeho left the bridge, he looked back at the stars one more time. In 3 days, everything would change. Humanity would no longer be alone in the universe. The question was whether that would be a blessing or a curse. The Cheonji continued to drift through space, its huge engines quiet, its weapons powered down. Inside the ship, 200,000 humans slept, dreaming of a new home. They had no idea that their long journey was about to become much more complicated. Behind them, 12 alien ships moved closer, their crews wondering about the massive vessel they had found. None of them knew that they were about to make history. None of them knew that first contact would begin with fear and misunderstanding, but that would all change very soon. The great hall buzzed with nervous energy. Representatives from 12 different species sat in a circle, their voices mixing in a chaos of clicks, whistles, and electronic sounds. At the center of the room, a huge hologram showed the mysterious ship that had appeared in their space. Admiral Velthar of the Vextari looked at the image with his compound eyes. His insect-like body was covered in dark green shell plates. 6 arms moved constantly as he spoke, a sign of worry among his people. This vessel is unlike anything we have seen, Velthar said in the common trade language. Our best sensors cannot see through its hull. Its power output is enormous. It could destroy entire fleets. Counselor Prismal of the Lumeni stood up slowly. Her body was made of living crystal that glowed with soft blue light. When she spoke, her voice sounded like music. Admiral Velthar speaks truth, but we must not act from fear alone. The vessel has made no aggressive moves. It simply drifts. Drifts while watching us, said Commander Threx of the Corvan Empire. He was a large reptile with red scales and sharp teeth. My ships have detected scanning beams from the vessel. It studies us as we study it. Far away on the human ship, Hyunwoo Lee woke up from his sleep cycle. His shift had started early because of the approaching alien vessels. He walked through the quiet corridors of the Cheonji. Most areas were dark to save power. Only the essential sections had full lighting. He reached the science lab and began checking the sensor data. The computer had been recording everything while he slept. What he saw made him very excited and very worried at the same time. "Baram, show me the alien ship formations," he said. The main screen lit up with dots of light. 12 ships moved toward them in a perfect triangle pattern. But that was not what caught his attention. Behind the 12 ships, more dots appeared. Many more. "Baram, how many ships are there in total?" "I count 43 vessels," the computer answered. "More are arriving every hour. They appear to be gathering around our position but staying at a safe distance." Hyunwoo felt his stomach drop. 43 alien ships. This was not a simple first contact mission. This was a fleet. He opened a communication channel to the bridge. "Captain Kim, you need to see this." A few minutes later, Daeho arrived at the lab. His hair was messy from sleep, but his eyes were sharp and alert. "What is it, Hyunwoo?" "Look at this." Hyunwoo pointed to the screen. "They're not just coming to say hello. They're surrounding us." Daeho studied the display. The alien ships had formed a large circle around the Cheonji, but they kept their distance. "Are they trying to trap us?" "I don't think so," Hyunwoo said. "If they wanted to attack, they would come closer. I think they're afraid of us." "Afraid? Why?" "Captain, look at our ship from their point of view. We're 15 kilometers long. Our fusion reactors put out more energy than their entire fleet combined. To them, we probably look like a superweapon." Daeho sat down heavily in a chair. This was the problem he had feared. The Cheonji was built to be big and powerful because it needed to carry so many people and supplies. But to alien eyes, it looked like a weapon of war. On the alien command ship, the debate continued. Species that had been enemies for centuries now worked together, united by their fear of the unknown vessel. "The energy readings are impossible," said Dr. Kelth, a Zephyrian scientist. Her people were tall and thin with silver skin and large black eyes. "No known technology can produce such power levels. This must be some kind of new weapon." "Or a ship from a very advanced civilization," Prismal suggested. "Perhaps they come in peace." Admiral Velthar's antenna twitched with anger. "Peace! Look at the size of that vessel. Look at its energy output. No one builds something like that for peaceful purposes." In another part of the Cheonji, Ji-won Choi sat in the communications center. She had been trying to decode the alien signals for hours. Her station was covered with scrolling text and waveform patterns. She was making progress, but it was slow work. "Baram, can you help me with these frequency patterns?" she asked. "I am analyzing the signals," the computer replied. "The aliens are using at least 4 different communication methods. They appear to be talking to each other, not to us." "What are they saying?" "I cannot translate their words yet, but I can analyze the emotional content of their voices." "They sound worried, Captain Choi. Very worried." Ji-won frowned. "Worried about us?" "That appears to be correct. This was not good news. If the aliens were afraid, they might do something dangerous. Fear made people act without thinking. It probably made aliens act the same way. She opened a channel to the bridge. "Captain, I'm picking up more alien communications. They're definitely talking about us, and they don't sound happy." Back in the Alien Council, the argument was getting louder. Commander Threx slammed his clawed hand on the table. "We cannot wait forever. The longer we delay, the more time they have to prepare their weapons." "What weapons?" Prismal asked, her crystal body flashing brighter. "We have seen no weapons." "The entire ship is a weapon," Velthar buzzed angrily. "Look at the power readings. They could turn that energy into a beam that would cut our ships in half." Dr. Kelth studied her instruments. "The vessel's hull appears to be made of some unknown metal. Our scanners cannot penetrate it. They could be hiding anything inside. There." "Or they could be hiding nothing," Prismal said calmly. "We know nothing about these beings. They could be peaceful explorers. Peaceful explorers do not build ships the size of small moons," Threx growled. On the Cheonji, more crew members were waking up. The ship operated with a skeleton crew of about 1,000 people at any time. The rest slept in cold chambers to save resources. But now, with aliens approaching, Captain Kim was waking up more people. Tae-Hyun Kang, the security chief, arrived on the bridge looking alert, despite just waking up. He was a stocky man with strong arms and quick eyes. "Captain, what's our situation?" "Have 43 alien ships watching us," Daeho said. "They're keeping their distance, but they don't seem friendly." Taehyun looked at the tactical display. "Are our weapons ready?" "We don't have weapons," Daeho reminded him. "We have mining equipment." "Mining equipment can be very dangerous if used properly," Taehyun said with a grim smile. "Our plasma cutters could slice through their hulls. Our magnetic launchers could throw chunks of metal at high speed. I don't want to think about fighting yet," Daeho said, "but start checking our equipment, just in case." Meanwhile, in the alien fleet, more ships arrived every hour. Word had spread across the galaxy about the mysterious vessel. Everyone wanted to see it for themselves. Military commanders, scientists, and politicians all came to study the strange ship. But the more they studied it, the more afraid they became. The ship was too big, too powerful, too alien. Nothing in their experience had prepared them for something like this. "We need to make a decision," Admiral Velthar said. "Do we try to communicate with them, or do we prepare for war?" "Communication first," Prismal said firmly. "War should always be the last choice." "And if they refuse to talk?" Commander Threx asked. "Then we will decide what to do next," she replied. But none of them knew that the humans were already trying to talk. Jiwon Choi had been sending simple mathematical signals for hours, trying to show that humans were intelligent and peaceful. The aliens received these signals, but did not understand them. To their ears, the powerful transmissions sounded like threats. The situation was getting worse by the hour, and nobody knew how to make it better. The alien diplomatic fleet moved slowly toward the Cheonji. Admiral Velthar had chosen his smallest ships for this mission. He hoped that showing less force would seem more peaceful. The three vessels were only 200 meters long each, tiny, compared to the massive human ship. "Maintain distance of 50 kilometers, Velthar ordered. "Activate all recording devices. If something goes wrong, the galaxy needs to know what happened here." On the lead ship, Counselor Prismal stood beside him. Her crystal body glowed nervously. "Admiral, I still believe we should send a simple greeting message first. We will, Velthar replied, but we must be ready for anything. Aboard the Keonji, alarms suddenly rang through the corridors. The ship's automated defense system had detected approaching vessels. In the security center, Taehyun Kang jumped from his chair as warning lights flashed red. "Captain to the bridge," he called over the intercom. "We have incoming ships." Daeho ran to the bridge, still putting on his uniform jacket. "What's happening?" "3 alien ships approaching," Taehyun reported. "Distance 52 kilometers and closing. Our defense system has automatically locked weapons on them." "Weapons?" Daeho asked, confused. "We don't have weapons." "The computer thinks we do," Taehyun explained. "It's targeting them with our mining equipment. The plasma cutters, magnetic launchers, even the waste disposal system, everything that could be used as a weapon." On the main screen, Daeho could see the 3 small alien ships. They looked fragile compared to the Cheonji. If the mining equipment fired, it would destroy them instantly. "Turn off the targeting system," he ordered. "I can't," Taehyun said, his fingers flying over the controls. "It's an automatic safety protocol. The system thinks we're under attack." Barham's voice filled the bridge. "Captain, the approaching vessels are scanning us with high-energy beams. Defense protocols require me to target all potential threats." "They're not threats!" Daeho shouted. "They're trying to communicate." "Their scanning beams could be weapons," Bahram replied calmly. "I must protect the ship and its passengers." Meanwhile, on the alien ships, their sensors detected the targeting beams from the Cheonji. To them, it looked like the massive vessel was preparing to fire. "Admiral," shouted the Vextari sensor operator. "The enemy ship has locked weapons on us, multiple targeting beams." Velthar felt his blood turn cold. "How many weapons?" "I count at least 20 different targeting systems." "Admiral, the power levels are incredible. Each weapon appears to be more powerful than our main battle cannons." Prismal's crystal body flashed bright white with fear. "Admiral, we should retreat. We are not prepared for this level of technology. All ships pull back to safe distance," Velthar ordered. "But keep recording everything." On the Cheonji, Somin Han worked frantically in the communications center. She had been trying to send peaceful messages to the aliens, but their communication system was much too powerful. "G1, help me reduce the transmission power," she called to her assistant. Jiwon Choi looked at the controls with confusion. "I can't find a way to make it weaker. The system is designed for long-range space communication. It's built to reach other star systems." Soman tried sending a simple mathematical sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4. She hoped the aliens would understand that humans could count and think logically. But when the message reached the alien ships, it overloaded their communication arrays. On the Vextari ship, sparks flew from the communication station. "Admiral, the enemy has attacked our systems," the operator reported. "Their transmission was so powerful, it burned out our receivers." "Attack?" Velthar's antenna bristled with anger. So much for peaceful contact. But Soman didn't know her message had caused damage. She tried again, this time sending a longer mathematical sequence. The signal was even stronger this time, designed to cut through space interference. When it hit the alien ships, it caused more equipment failures. "They're jamming all our communications," reported Commander Threx from his ship. "This is clearly an act of war." "Pull back! All ships pull back!" Velthar ordered. On the Cheonji, Captain Kim watched the alien ships retreat. He felt sick to his stomach. Everything was going wrong. "Why are they leaving?" he asked. Hyunwoo Lee studied his instruments. "Captain, I think we accidentally scared them. Our ship is so much bigger and more powerful than theirs. When our defense system locked onto them, they probably thought we were going to attack." "And our communication attempts?" Deho asked. Somin. Han looked embarrassed. "Captain, I think our transmissions were too strong. We probably damaged their equipment by accident." Deho sat down heavily in his command chair. "So they think we targeted them with weapons and then attacked their communications?" "That's how it looks," Tae-hyun confirmed. "Captain," Baram interrupted, "I am detecting a massive increase in alien ship movement. Many more vessels are approaching. Our position. Current count is now 78 ships." The main screen showed the tactical display. Red dots representing alien ships were converging on their location from all directions. What had started as 12 curious vessels was now becoming a full fleet. "They're not coming to talk anymore," Hyun-woo observed grimly. "They think we're hostile." In the alien fleet, emergency meetings were happening on every ship. The news of the attack had spread quickly. Admiral Velthar found himself commanding not just the Galactic Coalition forces, but also ships from neutral worlds and even some former enemies. "The situation is clear," he announced to the assembled fleet commanders. "The alien vessel has demonstrated hostile intent. It targeted our diplomatic ships with multiple weapon systems and then jammed our communications." "What are your orders, Admiral?" asked Captain Zinth of the Corvan Empire. "We surround them and wait," Velthar decided. "If they try to move toward any inhabited system, we stop them. If they try to leave peacefully, we let them go. But we cannot allow them to reach our worlds." On the Cheonji, more crew members were being awakened. The ship's senior staff gathered in the main conference room. The mood was tense and worried. "Let me understand this," said Jin-Woo Yoon, the military commander. He was a serious man who had been a soldier before the ship left Earth. "We tried to be friendly, and they think we attacked them." "Our equipment is too powerful," Minji Park explained. "When our computers locked onto their ships, it probably looked like we were aiming giant weapons at them. When we tried to talk, our transmitters were so strong they damaged their equipment. So we look like a battleship even when we're trying to be peaceful," Jinwoo concluded. "Exactly," Daiho said. "And now they've brought an entire fleet to watch us." Yoonji Nam, the chief medical officer, spoke up. "Captain, what if we just leave? We could move away from this area and try to find somewhere else to settle. If we fire up our main engines, they'll think we're preparing to attack," Taehyun pointed out. "Our engines are designed for moving a 15-kilometer ship. The energy output would look like we're charging up a superweapon." "We're trapped," Hyunwoo said quietly. "Everything we do looks threatening to them because we're so much bigger and more advanced." Daeho looked around the table at his tired crew. They had survived the destruction of Earth and traveled across the galaxy looking for a new home. Now, when they finally found other intelligent life, those beings thought they were monsters. "We need to find a way to prove we're peaceful," he said, "before someone makes a mistake that gets us all killed." But outside the ship, 78 alien vessels waited in formation, their weapons ready. Both sides wanted peace, but neither side knew how to achieve it. The misunderstanding was growing worse by the hour. In the depths of space, something else watched the growing tension with great interest. Ancient machines that had been sleeping for 1,000,000 years began to stir. They sensed the gathering of so many ships and started to wake up. The Devourers were coming. The tension had been building for 3 days. Both fleets watched each other across the void, weapons ready, nerves stretched to the breaking point. It was Admiral Kelton of the Corvan Third Fleet who finally snapped. Kelton was known for his aggressive tactics, and short temper. He had been arguing with Admiral Velthar over communication channels for hours, demanding permission to attack the human vessel before it could strike first. "We're sitting here like targets," Kelton growled to his bridge crew. His red scales bristled with anger. That monster ship could destroy us all while we debate peaceful solutions. His sensor officer, a younger Corvan named Threx, studied his instruments nervously. "Admiral, our orders are to wait for the alien vessel to make the first move. Look at those energy readings." Kelton snapped. "They're building up power. They're preparing to attack us." On the Cheonji, Engineer Minji Park was indeed increasing power output, but not for weapons. The ship's life support systems needed more energy as thousands of crew members woke up from cold sleep. The additional power demand caused the fusion reactors to run at higher levels. "Captain," Minji reported to the bridge, "I need to bring Reactor 3 online. We have too many people awake for the current power grid." "Do it," Daeho ordered. He didn't know that to alien sensors, bringing another massive reactor online looked exactly like charging up for an attack. Admiral Kelton watched his instruments as the human ship's energy output doubled. "There's your proof," he shouted. "They're powering up weapons. All ships, prepare for immediate attack." "Admiral, wait!" his communications officer called out. "Admiral Velthar is ordering all ships to hold position." But Kelton had made up his mind. "I won't let that monster destroy our fleet. All weapons, target the alien vessel. Fire." 6 Corvan battleships opened fire at once. Plasma bolts and missile volleys streaked across space toward the Cheonji. The attack was powerful enough to destroy any normal ship. But the Cheonji was not a normal ship. The plasma bolts struck the ship's defensive barriers and simply vanished. The barriers were designed to protect against high-speed space debris and cosmic radiation. To them, the alien weapons were just another form of space debris to be deflected. The missiles fared no better. The ship's point defense systems, normally used to destroy small asteroids, tracked and destroyed every incoming missile with perfect precision. "No damage to the ship," reported Taehyun Kang from the security station. "Their weapons can't penetrate. Our shields." Captain Kim felt relief and terror at the same time. They had survived the attack, but now the aliens would think they were truly invincible. "Captain," Baram's voice filled the bridge, "the attacking vessels pose a threat to the ship and crew. Defense protocols recommend immediate retaliation." "No!" Daeho shouted. "Do not return fire, that's an order!" But Admiral Kelton saw only that his most powerful weapons had been useless against the alien vessel. His fear turned to panic. "All ships, full attack!" he screamed. "Concentrate all fire on that monster!" The other Corvan ships hesitated, but military discipline won out. Soon, 18 vessels were firing everything they had at the Cheonji. The space around the human ship lit up with explosions and energy beams. None of it mattered. The ship's barriers held easily. In the alien fleet, Admiral Velthar watched in horror as the situation spiraled out of control. "Kelton, cease fire immediately. That's a direct order." "The order comes too late," Kelton replied. "We must destroy them before they destroy us." On the Cheonji, Captain Kim faced an impossible decision. The aliens were attacking his ship and the people he was sworn to protect. His crew looked to him for leadership. "Captain," Jin Woo-Yoon said quietly, "if we don't respond, they might think we're vulnerable. They might bring in bigger weapons. And if we do respond, we'll prove to them that we're the monsters they think we are," Daeho replied. "Sir," Taehyun interrupted, One of their attacks damaged a sensor array on our outer hull. No serious damage, but they are causing harm to the ship. Deho closed his eyes. He thought of the 200,000 people sleeping in the cold chambers below. He thought of the children who would never see Earth again. He thought of the responsibility that weighed on his shoulders. Baram, can you fire a warning shot? Something that will scare them but not hurt them. I can use mining laser number 7, the computer replied. I will target an empty area of space between the attacking ships and our vessel. Do it, Deho ordered. Minimum power, just enough to get their attention. The mining laser fired once. It was designed to cut through solid rock and metal asteroids. Even at minimum power, the beam was incredibly bright and powerful. The laser passed harmlessly between the alien ships, but it struck a small asteroid field behind them. The rocks simply vanished, turned to vapor in an instant. The effect on the alien fleet was immediate and dramatic. By the Great Hive, Admiral Velthar whispered as he watched the asteroid field disappear. What kind of weapon was that? On Kelton's ship, every alarm was screaming. Admiral! That beam had enough power to vaporize our entire fleet, his sensor officer reported. Energy output was beyond our ability to measure. Kelton felt his blood turn to ice. He had attacked a vessel that could destroy him with a casual gesture. All ships, cease fire. Retreat to maximum distance. The Corvin ships pulled back, their weapons silent. But the damage was done. Every alien in the fleet had seen the human vessel absorb their most powerful attacks without taking any real damage. Then they had seen it casually destroy an entire asteroid field with what appeared to be a warning shot. Admiral Velthar came. A transmission from the Lumeni flagship. We must reconsider our approach. That vessel just demonstrated the ability to destroy our entire combined fleet. I know, Velthar replied grimly. But what choice do we have? If we retreat, they might follow us to our home worlds. On the Cheonji, Captain Kim realized that his warning shot had made things worse, not better. Hyunwoo, what's the alien fleet doing now? They're pulling back, but they're not leaving, the xenobiologist reported. Energy readings suggest they're powering up their most powerful weapons. Captain, I think they're preparing for a massive coordinated attack. Our warning shot scared them, Deho said with bitter irony. Now they think they have to destroy us before we destroy them. Captain, Minji Park called from her station, I'm detecting some kind of energy buildup in the alien fleet. They're linking their power systems together. Linking their power systems? Taehyun asked. Why would they do that? To create one massive weapon, Jinwoo answered grimly. If they can't hurt us individually, they're going to try to hurt us all at once. Daiho sat in his command chair and tried to think. The situation was hopeless. If the aliens attacked with their combined fleet, the Keonji would survive, but many alien ships would be destroyed in the battle. If the humans tried to run, the aliens would chase them across the galaxy. If they did nothing, the aliens might attack anyway out of fear. Captain, Soman Han called from communications, I'm picking up transmissions from the alien fleet. They're arguing among themselves. Some want to attack, others want to retreat, and a few are still trying to find a peaceful solution. Any hope for communication? Daiho asked. I don't think so. Our transmitters are still too powerful. Every time we try to talk, we accidentally jam their systems. As both fleets prepared for a battle that neither side really wanted, something moved in the darkness beyond their sensor range. The Devourer ships had been watching and waiting. Now they had seen enough. The organic beings were about to weaken each other in battle. It was the perfect time to strike. 3 black shapes emerged from the void, moving faster than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Their weapons were already charging, their target locks already acquired. The Devourers had come to finish what the organic beings had started. The Devourer ships came out of nowhere. One moment, space was empty except for the 2 opposing fleets. The next moment, 3 massive black vessels appeared as if materializing from the void itself. They were unlike anything anyone had ever seen. Each ship was a kilometer long with a hull that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Strange geometric patterns covered their surfaces, pulsing with an eerie red glow. "What are those?" Admiral Velthar demanded as alarms rang across his bridge. "Unknown vessels, Admiral," his sensor operator replied with a trembling voice. "They just appeared on our screens. No engine signatures, no heat emissions. It's like they came from nothing." On the Cheonji, Captain Kim stared at the tactical display in shock. "Baram, where did those ships come from?" "Unknown, Captain," the computer replied. "They do not match any known ship design in my database. Their technology appears to be far in advance of both human and alien capabilities." The 3 Devourer ships moved with perfect coordination, forming a triangle around both fleets. Then, without warning, they opened fire. The first target was a Vextari cruiser on the edge of the alien formation. The Devourer's weapon was like nothing anyone had seen before, a beam of pure energy that seemed to eat through matter itself. The cruiser's shields collapsed instantly, its hull simply dissolved, and the ship vanished in a flash of light. "By the Queen's wings!" Admiral Velthar gasped. "They destroyed the Stinger in one shot!" More beams lanced out from the mysterious ships. A Lumeni science vessel exploded in crystalline fragments. 2 Corvan destroyers simply ceased to exist. In less than a minute, 6 alien ships were gone. "All ships, evasive action," Velthar ordered. "Return fire." The alien fleet scattered and began shooting at the Devourer ships, but their weapons seemed to have no effect. The plasma bolts and missiles simply vanished when they touched the black hulls. On the Cheonji, the bridge crew watched in horror as the unknown attackers cut through the alien fleet like a knife through paper. "Captain, should we help them?" Jinwoo Yoon asked. "Help who?" Daeho replied. "The aliens think we're their enemy." "But these new ships are attacking everyone," Hyunwoo pointed out. "Look at the targeting patterns. They're not distinguishing between the alien fleet and us." As if to prove his point, one of the Devourer ships turned toward the Cheonji. A red beam lanced out and struck the human vessel's shields. For the first time since the crisis began, the Cheonji's barriers flickered under the impact. "Damage report," Daeho called out. "Shields down to 80%, Taehyun reported. "Whatever that weapon is, it's more powerful than anything the aliens have." Another beam struck the ship. The lights on the bridge dimmed as power flowed to the defensive systems. "Shields at 60%, Taehyun announced. "Captain, if they keep this up, they'll break through our barriers." Daeho made a decision that would change everything. "All stations, prepare for combat. Target the black ships. Protect the alien fleet." "Sir?" Jinwoo looked surprised. "Those aliens out there think we're monsters," Daeho explained. "But they're still people trying to survive. And right now, we're all being attacked by the same enemy." "Understood, Captain. Weapons are ready. Baram, target the nearest black ship with everything we have." The Cheonji's mining equipment swiveled toward the attacking Devourer. Plasma cutters designed to slice through asteroids focused on a single target. Magnetic launchers loaded with chunks of metal prepared to fire. All weapons, fire! The space around the Devourer ship lit up with energy beams and projectiles. The mining plasma hit first, cutting deep into the alien hull. Then the magnetic launchers sent metal slugs flying at incredible speed. The impact sent shockwaves through the enemy vessel. For the first time, a Devourer ship showed damage. Its perfect black hull was scarred and twisted. Strange fluids leaked from the wounds, glowing with an unnatural light. In the alien fleet, Admiral Velthar watched in amazement. "The human ship is attacking the unknowns. They're protecting us." "Admiral, what are your orders?" his tactical officer asked. Velthar made his own crucial decision. "All ships concentrate fire on the black vessels. Protect the human ship." Suddenly, the tide of battle changed. Human and alien weapons fired together at the mysterious attackers. The Cheonji's massive firepower combined with the alien fleet's numbers began to tell. On the human ship, fighter pilot Commander Minho Jung launched his squadrons. "All fighters, launch! Protect the alien ships from the unknowns." The human fighters were unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. Each one was the size of a small corvette, with shields and weapons that could challenge much larger vessels. They moved with impossible speed and precision, their pilots using skills learned in Earth's final war. "By the crystal light," whispered a Lumeni captain as he watched human fighters destroy Devourer attack craft. "Each of their small ships fights like one of our frigates." The battle raged for an hour. The Devourers fought with cold, mechanical precision, but they faced an unexpected alliance. Human mining equipment proved surprisingly effective against their advanced hulls. Alien weapons, while individually weak, provided covering fire that allowed the human ship to target the enemy vessels. Slowly, the mysterious attackers began to retreat. Two of their ships were heavily damaged, leaking strange fluids and sparking with alien energies. The third had lost several weapon systems to concentrated fire from human and alien forces. "They're pulling back," Hyunwoo reported from his station. "Energy signatures suggest they're preparing to leave." As quickly as they had appeared, the Devourer ships vanished into the darkness between stars. But they left behind a changed situation. "Captain Kim," came a transmission from the alien fleet. "This is Admiral Velthar of the Galactic Coalition. I request permission to speak with you." Daiho looked at his communications officer. "Soman, can we talk to them without damaging their equipment?" "I think so," she replied. "I'll use the minimum power setting and route it through our short-range transmitters. Put him through." The main screen flickered, and an insect-like face appeared. Admiral Velthar's compound eyes studied the human captain with new respect. "Captain Kim, I believe we owe you an apology," Velthar said in carefully pronounced trade language. "We misunderstood your intentions. Your ship saved many of our people today." "We're all people trying to survive," Daiho replied. "Those black ships were attacking everyone. We had to work together." "Indeed. Captain, would you be willing to meet in person? I believe we have much to discuss." For the first time in days, Daiho felt hope. "I would be honored, Admiral." In the medical bay, Dr. Yoonji Nam treated wounded crew members from the battle. "How many casualties?" she asked her assistant. 17 injured, no deaths," came the reply. "The aliens had much worse losses. They lost 12 ships and hundreds of people." "Then we need to help them," Yoonji said. "Prepare medical supplies for transfer to their fleet." Throughout the ship, the crew began preparing for humanity's first real contact with alien life. Not as enemies facing each other across the void, but as allies who had fought together against a common threat. Commander Woo-Sung Lee prepared security teams to visit alien ships and offer assistance. "Remember," he told his people, "these are not enemies anymore. They're allies who need our help." The battle with the Devourers had changed everything. Fear and suspicion were being replaced by respect and cooperation. Both sides had seen that they faced a greater threat than each other. But in the darkness beyond the star system, the damaged Devourer ships regrouped. They had learned valuable information about both human and alien capabilities. Next time, they would come in greater numbers. The organic beings had shown they could work together. That made them more dangerous than the machines had calculated. But it also made their eventual destruction more important to the Devourer mission. The war was just beginning. The shuttle bay of the Cheonji had never hosted alien visitors before. Captain Daeho Kim stood waiting as the airlock cycled, preparing to meet Admiral Velthar face to face. Behind him, a small group of senior officers tried to look calm and professional. "Remember," Daeho said quietly, "these beings were our enemies an hour ago. Now they're our allies. Let's make sure they stay that way." The airlock opened with a soft hiss. Admiral Velthar entered first, his 6 arms moving in what humans would later learn was a gesture of peaceful greeting. Behind him came Counselor Prismal, her crystal body glowing with soft blue light, and 3 other alien officers. Daeho stepped forward and bowed slightly, a gesture he hoped would be understood as respectful. "Admiral Velthar, welcome aboard the Cheonji. I am Captain Daeho Kim." Velthar's compound eyes studied the human captain. "Captain Kim, your ship is even more impressive from the inside. We had no idea we were dealing with a refugee vessel. Our circumstances forced us to build large," Daeho explained. "We carry 200,000 people. Everything had to be built to support a traveling city." Prismal's crystal form pulsed with surprise. 200,000? We detected no life signs of that magnitude. "Most of our people sleep in cold chambers to preserve resources," Hyunwoo Lee explained. "Only a few thousand are awake at any time." As the aliens toured the ship, their understanding of humanity began to change completely. What they had thought were weapon systems turned out to be mining and construction equipment. The battleship was actually a massive transport designed to rebuild civilization on a new world. "Your plasma cutters," Velthar observed as they passed through an industrial section. "We thought they were ship-killing weapons." "They're designed to cut through asteroid rock," Minji Park explained. "We need raw materials to build homes and factories when we find a suitable planet." "And your magnetic launchers?" "For moving large pieces of metal and stone," she replied, "though I suppose they could be used as weapons if necessary." Meanwhile, in the communications center, Da-Hyun Park worked frantically with alien linguists to establish proper translation protocols. The breakthrough came when she realized that mathematical concepts could be used as a bridge between languages. The Vextari language uses frequency modulation to express complex ideas, she explained to Captain Kim over the intercom. "It's like singing and talking at the same time. The Lumeni communicate through light patterns and harmonic resonance." "Can we talk to them properly now?" Daeho asked. "Getting better every minute," Dayun replied. "I think we can manage basic conversations." The Real test came in the medical bay, where Dr. Yoonji Nam was treating wounded aliens from the battle. The Vextari had a completely different circulatory system than humans, while the Lumini were essentially living crystals that could crack and shatter. Fascinating, Yoonji murmured as she worked on a wounded Vextari officer. Your people heal much faster than humans do. This cut should take weeks to heal, but I can see it starting to close already. Your medical knowledge is impressive, the alien replied through the new translation system. Our doctors said this injury might leave permanent damage, but your techniques have repaired the nerve connections. Word of successful medical treatment spread quickly through the alien fleet. Soon, more wounded were being transferred to the Cheonji for treatment. Human doctors learned about alien biology, while alien medics observed human surgical techniques, but the cooperation went beyond medicine. In the engineering sections, Woo-Sung Lee worked with alien technicians to understand how their ships functioned. Your power systems are much more efficient than ours, he admitted to a Lumani engineer. But our defensive systems are stronger. Perhaps we could learn from each other, the crystal being suggested. Our technology combined with your engineering could benefit both our peoples. The real breakthrough came when the translation specialist, Dahyun Park, managed to decode the communications from the mysterious black ships. Captain, you need to hear this, she called from her station. Daeho and Admiral Velthar both came to listen as she played back the intercepted transmissions. These are not random attackers, Dahyun explained. According to their communications, they call themselves the Devourers. They're machines, not living beings, and their mission is to destroy all organic life in the galaxy. Velthar's antenna bristled with alarm. All organic life? That includes both our species. Yes, Dahyun continued. They've been sleeping in space for millions of years, waiting for organic civilizations to develop. When they detect large gatherings of ships, they wake up and attack. How many of them are there? Daeho asked. According to their own communications, thousands of ships, maybe tens of thousands. They're scattered throughout the galaxy, but they're all waking up now. The implications were staggering. Both human and alien civilizations faced extinction from an enemy that had been waiting in the darkness for eons. We need to warn our people, Velthar said. Every world, every ship, every colony needs to know about this threat. Agreed, Daeho replied. But first, we need to understand how to fight them. Our weapons worked against their ships, but barely. Next time they'll come in greater numbers. Over the following days, human and alien engineers worked together to study the wreckage from the battle. The Devourer technology was incredibly advanced, but it had weaknesses. Their hulls are designed to absorb energy weapons, Minji Park explained to a mixed group of human and alien scientists, but our physical projectiles can punch through them. And their weapons are powerful but focused, added a Vextari engineer. They're designed to destroy ships quickly, not to fight prolonged battles. The cultural attaché Chaewon Lim worked to establish formal diplomatic relations between humanity and the various alien species. It was delicate work, as many of the alien civilizations had been enemies of each other for centuries. The Devourers threaten all of us equally, she explained to a group of alien ambassadors. We must work together, or we'll all fall separately. Slowly, agreements were reached. The human ship would serve as a neutral meeting place for the Allied fleets. Human medical facilities would treat wounded from all species. In return, the aliens would share their knowledge of local space and help the humans find a suitable world to settle. But even as cooperation grew, disturbing reports came in from across the galaxy. Devourer attacks had begun on multiple worlds. The machines were awakening everywhere, drawn by the electromagnetic signatures of advanced civilizations. "The situation is worse than we thought," Admiral Velthar reported during a joint command meeting. "We've lost contact with 3 Corvan colonies and 2 Lumeni research stations. The attacks are coordinated and systematic. They're not just random raiders," Deho realized. "They're conducting a planned campaign to wipe out all organic life." "What do we do?" asked a Zephyrian captain. "Our combined fleets are strong. But can we fight an enemy that's been preparing for this war for millions of years?" "We learn," Deho said firmly. "We adapt. We use the advantages we have. The Devourers are machines. They think logically, but they don't innovate. We're living beings. We can change our tactics, develop new weapons, surprise them. And we have something they don't expect," Velthar added. "Unity. They plan to face dozens of small divided civilizations. Instead, they're facing an alliance. The meeting ended with plans for a new kind of fleet. Human ships would provide heavy firepower and defensive capabilities. Alien vessels would contribute speed, numbers, and specialized technology. Together, they might have a chance against the ancient machines. But first, they needed to rescue the colonies and stations that were under attack. The Devourers had made their first mistake by attacking while the Allied fleets were together and ready to respond. It was time to take the fight to the machines and show them that organic life would not go quietly into extinction. The real war was about to begin. 6 months had passed since the first Devourer attack. The galaxy had changed forever. Where once there had been dozens of separate, often hostile civilizations, now there was a growing alliance centered around the massive human ship Cheonji, Captain. Deho Kim stood on the observation deck, watching as construction ships from 12 different species worked together to build something unprecedented. They were creating New Earth, a massive space habitat that would orbit the Cheonji and serve as the capital of the new Galactic Alliance. "The engineering report, Captain," said Gaeon-Wu Park, the ship's chief engineer. His hair was grayer now, and his face showed the stress of months of constant work. But his eyes held satisfaction as he watched the construction progress. "How are we doing?" Deho asked. "Better than expected," Gaeon-Wu replied. "The Lumeni crystal growing technology, combined with our metal fabrication techniques, is creating structures stronger than anything we could build alone. The Vextari hive mind coordination is perfect for managing complex construction projects. And the Zephyrian gravity manipulation lets us work in ways that would be impossible otherwise." Deho nodded. The Alliance had brought together not just military forces, but the best minds and technologies from across the galaxy. Each species contributed their unique strengths to the common cause. "Any word from the Outer Rim?" he asked. "Good news," Gaeon-Wu said. "The combined fleet just liberated the Corvan mining colonies. The Devourers are retreating from that sector. Our new tactics are working." The new tactics had been developed through painful trial and error. The Alliance had learned that the ancient machines could be defeated, but only through coordination and innovation. Human ships provided the heavy firepower needed to break through Devourer defenses. Alien vessels offered speed and numbers for hit-and-run attacks. Most importantly, the organic allies could adapt and change their strategies in ways the logical machines couldn't predict. In the medical bay, Dr. Yoonji Nam supervised a treatment center that would have been impossible to imagine a year ago. Vextari, Lumeni, Corvan, Zephyrian, and human patients received care side by side. The medical knowledge of multiple species had been combined to create treatments that worked for everyone. Dr. Nam called her assistant, a young Lumeni named Cord of Healing. The wounded from the Rigel system battle are responding well to the new therapy. Good, Yunji replied. The combination of human surgical techniques and Lumeni regeneration therapy is saving lives that would have been lost before. She looked around the medical bay with pride. Months ago, they had been refugees drifting in space. Now they were part of something bigger, a community that spanned the stars. In the communications center, Dahyun Park worked with a team of translators from every species in the Alliance. They had created a new common language that incorporated the best features of all their different communication methods. The reports from the Vega colonies are coming in clearly, she announced. The new translation protocols are working perfectly. We can now communicate in real time with any member of the Alliance. Communication had been one of the biggest challenges in building the Alliance, but necessity had driven innovation. Now, a human could talk directly to a Vextari soldier or a Lumeni scientist without any delay or confusion. Commander Woo-Sung Lee had perhaps the most challenging job of all. He commanded the Alliance's new integrated military forces, units where humans and aliens fought side by side. The cultural differences had seemed impossible to overcome at first. Status report, Daeho asked when he visited the military command. Center. Excellent progress, Captain, Woo-Sung replied. The mixed units are performing better than pure species formations. Human tactical thinking combined with alien specializations is proving very effective against the Devourers. And morale. High. Nothing builds unit cohesion like fighting together against a common enemy. The species barriers are breaking down fast when people depend on each other for survival. The success of the military integration had surprised everyone. Soldiers who had been trained to see other species as enemies were now willing to die for their alien comrades. In the diplomatic quarters, Chaewon Lim met with representatives from species that had just joined the Alliance. Every week brought new members as word spread about the coalition's successes against the Devourers. The Andrali Republic wishes to contribute 300 ships to the Alliance fleet, announced Ambassador Keth Sur, a tall, graceful being with silver skin. We also offer our expertise in quantum communications. Welcome to the Alliance, Chaewon replied warmly. Every new member makes us all stronger. It was true. The Alliance now included over 30 species, with more joining every month. What had started as a desperate defensive pact was becoming a true galactic government. But the real symbol of the new era was taking shape outside the ship. New Earth was almost complete, a massive, ring-shaped habitat that could house millions of beings from dozens of species. It would be a place where human children could play with Vextari young, where Lumeni artists could collaborate with Corvin engineers, where the future of the galaxy would be decided. Captain Kim? Admiral Velthar's voice came over the communication system. The Council is ready for your address. Daeho made his way to the main conference hall, which had been expanded to accommodate representatives from all the Alliance species. As he entered, beings from across the galaxy rose to their feet, wings or appendages, in a gesture of respect. Friends and allies, Daeho began, his words being translated instantly into dozens of languages. 6 months ago, we were strangers and enemies. Today, we stand united against a threat that would destroy us all. The hall was silent as he continued. The Devourers believed they could pick us off one by one, that our differences would make us weak. Instead, our diversity has made us strong. human weapons combined with Vextari tactics, Lumeni technology enhanced by Corvan engineering, Zephyrian, speed supported by human endurance. Cheers and various species-specific expressions of approval filled the hall. "The ancient machines are retreating," Deho announced. 17 Devourer fleets have been destroyed. 43 worlds have been liberated. The tide of war has turned. More cheers erupted, but Deho raised his hand for silence. The war is not over. There are still thousands of Devourer ships sleeping in the darkness between stars. But we are no longer afraid of them. We have learned to fight together, to live together, to build together. He gestured toward the window where New Earth was. Visible in all its gleaming glory, this habitat represents our future. Not just human, not just Vextari or Lumeni or Corvan, but all of us together. A place where our children will grow up as citizens of the galaxy, not just their individual worlds. The Cheonji began this journey as a refugee ship carrying the last survivors of a dead world. Today, it has become something greater, the heart of a new civilization that spans the stars. As the assembly erupted in celebration, Daiho thought about the long journey that had brought them here. The destruction of Earth seemed like a lifetime ago. The fear and misunderstanding of first contact was already becoming history. Later, as he stood on the observation deck watching New Earth's lights twinkle like stars, Minji Park joined him. "Hard to believe this all started with them thinking we were monsters," she said. "We are monsters," Daiho replied with a smile. "We're monsters to anything that threatens innocent life. The Devourers learned that the hard way. And now, we build," he said simply. "We explore, we grow. We make sure that what happened to Earth never happens to any world again." In the distance, ships from dozens of species moved in perfect formation, their different designs and technologies united in common purpose. Refugee ships carried settlers to new worlds. Exploration vessels pushed into unknown regions of space. Warships stood guard against the remaining Devourer threats. The galaxy had found its unity through diversity, its strength through cooperation. The age of isolated worlds and petty conflicts was ending. The age of galactic civilization had begun. And at the center of it all, the Cheonji continued its journey through the stars, no longer a refugee ship, but the foundation stone of a new future. The monster ship that had once terrified the galaxy had become its greatest protector and the symbol of hope for all organic life. The journey that began with humanity's desperate flight from a dying Earth had become something none of them could have imagined. The birth of a truly galactic community, where every species, every world, every individual had a place. The stars were no longer cold and empty. They were home.